What up, y'all? So I tried to make a channel before. You know what I mean? I recorded a few videos and I put them up. Shit didn't work because I wasn't really into the whole video making every day and all that. Plus, I didn't have that motivation. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I've seen a few channels. You know what I mean? I've been to prison. You know what I mean? I've been to prison. I did 10 years. And I have a lot of stories. You know what I mean? I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of experience, which I would like, to maybe be able to help one person, one kid. I'm good enough with that. Like, you know what I mean? If I could get to one kid so that he wouldn't have to go through what I had to experience, then that's good enough for me, man. It's all about love and elevation. You can't, live life being negative, because negativity brings negativity. So that's not something I want for myself, for my kids, for my wife, for anybody in my family, you know what I mean? So, I did 10 years. I gave the system 10 years of my life in New York City. You know what I mean? I got locked up. You know what I mean? I had a bad case, violence. And I ended up serving 10 years in upstate New York, up north. You know what I mean? And I started doing my time in Rikers Island. You go to the precinct, you get locked up. From there, you go to Rikers Island. You know what I mean? First time ever. I'm 18 years old, young, stupid. You know what I mean? I never heard about Rikers Island, period. I didn't know what Rikers Island was. I didn't know it existed, And even though I grew up in New York City, I never heard about it, you know what I mean? Running the streets, dipping and dabbing, and I still never heard about it. So I remember going up in there. You go to intake, I went to C74. And I remember going up in there, going to intake. And from intake, you go to the infirmary, after they do all your whatever, numbers and all that, boom. And you go to intake, you go to the infirmary. And the infirmary, they check you up and all that. So I'm sitting there, and the first physical person I see is this Dominican kid. By the way, I'm Dominican. You know what I mean? And the kid is all fucked up, man. Like, this motherfucker got lumps everywhere. You know what I mean? 2001 was the year. At that time, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know what I mean? At the time, the Bloods were running Rikers Island because they were the majority. So if, any gang like nowadays, like, I haven't been to Rikers Island. Last time I was in Rikers Island was in 2010. And in 2010, when I went back, because I wanted to get resentenced, because they had to give me, I had a flat bid. And a flat bid, you had to be given supervision. And when they sentenced me, they just gave me the 10 flat. They didn't give me the 5 years post-release supervision. Was his parole. Anybody who got let's say a 2 to 7, a 2 to 4, 1.5 to 3, that's parole. If you get out early, if you get out in a year and a half, you come out and you got parole. Flat bids before this were just flat. You know what I mean? So if you got hit with 5 years flat, you was good. You didn't have parole. But they started, they called it supervision, but it was still fucking regular parole. The same parole that everybody fucking got. You know what I mean? Because when I came home, my parole was regular fucking parole with everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to fucking parole. There was no supervision about it. Anyway, I got sentenced to fucking 10 flat. And I had to go back to Rikers Island and get resentenced. But I'll say that story later on. You know what I mean? I'll say that story in another video. That's one of many. Anyway, so I see the dude. The dude is all fucking lumped up. This nigga got his lips all busted, bloody nose, all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, yo, buddy, like, you know what I'm saying? What happened to you, guy? And he's like, yo, motherfuckers smoked me out the house, like, you know what I'm saying? Cause when he got to the house, he he stepped up, man. Cause that's how it was. You had to step up. You want phone time, you want anything you want, you gotta go and man up. You know what I mean? That's how Rikers Island is. So a lot of people, you get locked up. You never been in that situation. There's only one of two things you're gonna do. You're either gonna fold or you're gonna fucking pass the test. You know what I mean? It's either one or two. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either you get got or you get people. Like, you know what I mean? And it all depends on you, on who you are, how you deal with situations. You know what I'm saying? So I remember he told me, listen, man, anybody who says anything to you that you feel any type of energy, just pop off because they gonna smoke you anyway. So, I didn't know. I wasn't too familiar with how jail ran. Rikers Island is a spot where you fight your case, even though you got a lot of dudes that's there like already serving a year, or you got dudes that's coming up from up north. They go to C-76. You know what I mean? No, I'm both C-95. I think that's where you go. I'm not even sure. It's been so long that I'm not even sure. You know what I mean? If you go to tell me down in the comment box if you remember, like it was yesterday, that is either C-70, C-76 or C-95, some shit like that. That you wear greens and shit. So I remember going in there. First spot I went to was what was it? Mod 1. I went to a mod. Yeah, Mod 1. I went to a mod, whatever, and I get there, and as soon as I walk in, and I peep it out, because when you first walk in the door, you look straight up and you could see the pantry. You know what I'm saying? You see the pantry down there, and the what you call this shit, the day room joint. And then you look to your left, and all the beds is mad beds, like some military type bunk up shit, like mad beds, a bed and a locker back to back like that, boom 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 boom, big ass row. You know what I'm saying? So there were probably like 4 Dominicans in that house, and everything was good there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just about to turn 19. So they put me in the adults. You know what I'm saying? They put me in the adults. So fucking, they had a phone. You know what I mean? Dominicans had a phone, and they was alright. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bloods were running the house, but we were living good. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got our fucking Frosted Flakes. You know what I mean? Anybody who ever been to Rikers Island and you haven't ate Frosted Flakes, it's like this, man. If you ever got locked up and you didn't eat Frosted Flakes at that time, I don't know if they still got Frosted Flakes, but at that time you had to have your weight up to be able to eat Frosted Flakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had to have your weight up. You couldn't just get Frosted Flakes if you was a nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, that's one of the first things that my son, like, you know what I mean? Fucking, what was his name? Malafe was like, listen, man, you make sure you get your Frosted Flakes from here on out. Any house you go to, fuck the phone, make sure you get Frosted Flakes. That's where respect starts, bruh. You know what I mean? And it's true. You know what I mean? It's true. Like, you gotta give me my motherfucking Frosted Flakes. And you got a lot of dudes who's grimy and they run in the house. That's why, like, me thinking back, I was about to say the story in a way that to me it feels like glorifying it, but in all reality, I want to say how jail really is, so that people who've never been there could, understand a little bit. You got a lot of people who already have channels that are telling you war stories. I'm not gonna tell you war stories. I'm gonna tell you the real deal about how prison works. You feel me? Like, prison is not for kids, man. If you're a kid, my bad. If you're a kid, then please don't get locked up, because the moment you step in them in that motherfucking system, you have to become a man. And I don't give a fuck who you are. You're gonna get tested. You know what I mean? So if you want to not want to fight, then you're gonna have to fight. And if you don't fight, they gonna extort you, bruh. They gonna extort you, and you don't want to get extorted. You don't want to live a lifestyle where you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, you're gonna live to where if they bring you, you go to commissary, they're gonna take your shit. So you have to set that respect at all times, so that other, inmates that are there with you can understand that you're not one that is gonna let nobody play with your shit. You know what I mean? And it's sad that, we our community, because, we in the same community, we the same people. Like, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be that you come into a house and the first thing I fucking do is try to take your sneakers. You know what I'm saying? The last thing I heard about Rikers Island, you don't even get to keep your clothes no more. Because that used to bring a lot of problems too. Like, if you got a nice fucking sweater, or you got some nice you got some Jordans on, oh, I want your shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that type of shit used to go down, in my time when I got locked up. Because that's the thing, that before me, in the 90s, when motherfuckers was getting locked up, all those stories, which I know, and I've met motherfuckers, and you're gonna hear about all that from me, because I got stories for days. I got shit to tell you for days. But what I want you to understand and get through your head is that here, I'm gonna, tell you about how shit really is, the feelings that you're gonna feel when you're in there. You know what I mean? The stress that you gonna have to endure when you're in there. Because look, out of 10 years, I did like 4.5 in the box, because I couldn't stay in population, because any little bullshit, I'll just fucking try to take a nigga head off. You know what I'm saying? And I got black and white. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got black and white to prove all my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? All my shit is straight black and white. I got all my tickets, all my tier 3s. You know what I'm saying? Did wild box time and came out of there fucked up in the head. You know what I mean? Came out of there, I had to fucking, I needed therapy. I needed a fucking psychologist, which we all do. You know what I mean? Niggas that's been locked up, you need psychology, because they fuck you up mentally, man. They fuck you up mentally. And, like, the feeling of me being locked up the first time, the anxiety that I went through, and I wasn't scared, but at the same time, I was, in a sense, that I didn't know what was it that I was gonna have to do to survive. And I had to do things to survive, which, that's not me, man. That's not my person, you know what I mean? Like, and you're gonna have to do that if you go in there. So you know, the best thing that advice that I give a kid nowadays in New York City, anywhere, what I mean, if you're watching this video, is listen, man. When you go to jail, all the friends that you had that you thought were your friends, they not your friends, man. They really not. At first, that you probably get some visits and shit. Probably get a few visits, but eventually, motherfuckers is gonna stop. You know what I mean? They're gonna stop coming to see you, and you're gonna see your friends turn your back on you. The motherfuckers that when you had money in your pocket, they were your fucking buddy. You know what I mean? And fucking 2 months pass and you don't hear from them anymore. That's what the reality of going to jail is, going to prison. You know what I mean? When I was up north, I had so many friends, and after fucking 1 year, all I really had was like that core, you know what I mean, which were my parents. That's who I had, because at the time, I didn't have a girl, you know what I mean, and what girl was gonna stay with me, period, and serve 10 years with me, you feel me? I came home and got a girl I love her to death, because she understands me and my mentality and all the things that are screwed up with me. Because when you go to jail for all the time that I did, you get screwed up. You know what I mean? And a lot of motherfuckers don't notice that, but you do. You get fucked up. And your psyche is all fucked up. You know what I mean? It's all fucked up. But listen, man. I'm gonna tell you stories about so many things. Subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel. This is basically an introduction of how a little bit of what I'm gonna be talking about on this channel. But you know, if you want to hear war stories, tell me down in the comment section. I'll tell you so many fucking war stories, which you will hear war stories. But I want to teach those that need to be taught. And yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what prison is really like, New York State prison. You know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers think they go to jail and they're gonna get raped and all this shit. No, bro, you're not gonna get raped if you don't want a fucking if you don't want your buns taken. You're not gonna get your buns taken, man. You know what I mean? That's a lot of stereotypes, and that's bullshit. You feel me? But this Fat Red, subscribe to the channel. Up north, you know what I mean? We up north because that's where I did my time, up north. You know what I mean? So subscribe to the channel, give me a like, and comment in the comment section what you wanna hear, what do you want, to understand. Ask me any question you want, you know what I mean? And y'all already know, man. I love y'all, man. Click up north. Bing Mang Moon. Y'all ready? Fat Red. Chill. Peace, man.